Akimbo, this must be one of the odder looking words in the language. It puzzles us in part because it doesn't seem to have any relative. What's more, it's now virtually going very fast. Akimbo, this must be one of the odder looking words in the language. It puzzles us in part because it doesn't seem to have any relative. What's more, what should be the speed, fast or slow? Are you struggling in PTE speaking and PTE reading? Then read aloud can be one of the reasons. Hello everybody, I'm Aditi from PTE Universe. In today's session, I'm going to help you with PTE read aloud. Read aloud is one of the most important tasks in PTE. It contributes a lot of marks to reading and speaking. Today we will understand how you should attempt read aloud in your real exam. And I'm going to share the exact tips and tricks with which many of our students have got 90 out of 90 in PTE. So let's get started. So guys, this is how your screen will look like. You will have 5 to 7 questions in your real exam. You will have 40 seconds. In the first 40 seconds, you can prepare the read aloud. And in the next 40 seconds, you have to read it aloud. Guys, you must read naturally and clearly as possible. Before we proceed further, I'm going to make you understand the marking criteria for this task. Guys, every question is of 15 marks since you're going to get 5 to 7 questions. So almost 15 into 6, 90 marks. Very, very important task. Guys, 3 most important things you need to consider. First, content. So if you miss words, you add words, you replace words, your marks for reading will get deducted. Again, I'm repeating, if you miss words, you add words or you replace words, reading marks will get deducting. For speaking, pronunciation and fluency are very important. 5 marks for pronunciation, 5 for fluency. So total 15 marks. And guys, don't confuse pronunciation with accent. So many people think that they have to speak in a very different way. Don't try to imitate anybody. Just try to speak natural. And for fluency, let me give you a bonus tip. So many people think if they will speak fastly and loudly, they will get good marks. That's not the case. You will have to speak naturally. You will have to speak calmly. Don't rush. I'm going to take you to the screen to give you an idea about how you should attempt the read aloud in your real exam. So this is a real exam question in front of you. You will have 40 seconds to prepare the read aloud. In those 40 seconds, you should prepare it like domestication is an evolutionary rather than a political development. They were more likely to survive and prosper in an alliance with human than on their own. Human provided the animal with food and protection, in exchange for which the animals provided the humans their milks and egg and yes, their flesh. Take care of SES, take care of difficult words, take a deep breath, and then once the recorder opens, start speaking. See. Domestication is an evolutionary rather than a political development. They were more likely to survive and prosper in an alliance with humans than on their own. Humans provided the animals with food and protection, in exchange for which the animals provided the humans their milks and egg and yes, their flesh. Now see, I just did a mistake. Milks. If you have made a mistake, keep on speaking. Don't stop and recorrect yourself. In real exam, you might do some mistakes. That's totally fine. Just don't try to recorrect yourself. Many of you are what they're trying to do. They're trying to speak very fast. Domestication is an evolutionary rather than a political development. They were more likely to survive. Wrong way. So many of you are trying to speak very slow. Domestication is an evolutionary rather than a, so many of you are trying to sing a song. Domestication is an evolutionary rather than a political. You have to speak naturally and clearly as possible. Don't rush. Make sure you don't go out of breath. There's so many people who start speaking at a very fast pace, but by the end they reach, the speed slows down. You have to do the entire speaking at a moderate pace and focus on content. Content is important, but in case if you don't know how to speak a word, try to skip it. Let's do the next one. Again, the timer has started. Start preparing. A young man from a small provincial town, a man without independent wealth, without powerful family connections, and without a university education, moved to London in the late 1580s and in a remarkably short time became the greatest playwright not of his age alone, but of all time. How did Shakespeare become Shakespeare? Shakespeare, a young man from a small provincial town. A young man from a small provincial town, a man without independent wealth, without powerful family connections, and without a university education, moved to London in the late 1580s and in a remarkably short time became the greatest playwright not of his age alone but of all time. How did Shakespeare become Shakespeare? Once you complete a read aloud, make sure you press next. Don't wait. So many people keep on waiting. You do not need to wait. Also, guys, if you don't speak for 3 seconds, microphone will close down. So once the recorder opens, 3 seconds, just recorder opens, you see the first blue bar, start speaking. Next one in front of your screen. See, this is a bigger one. I'll be taking appropriate pauses. So take pauses on commas, full stop. It's not necessary you do the read aloud in one breath. I don't even recommend it. See, moods may have an effect on how information is processed by influencing the extent to which judges rely on pre existing internal information or focus on new external information. Positive moods promote more holistic and top down processing style, while negative moods recreate more stimulus driven and bottom up processing. Now, see, in this read aloud, I have done some mistakes. So, in real exam, if you do not utilize the 40 seconds correctly, you will end up messing it up. So, now this read aloud, I wanted to give you an idea. If you don't utilize the 40 seconds correctly, how you will end up making mistakes. So, those 40 seconds are very, very important. Don't be overconfident in exam that, okay, it's an easy one. You might have done the read aloud previously in your daily practice, but try to make sure you again redo an exam. And let's say once you have done it, you should try to focus on difficult words first, hard words, difficult words which are tough to pronounce, words which have ses is the common mistake, and the. And also, let's say there are difficult words which you don't want to speak, you want to skip, you have to figure it out in the first 40 seconds, because once the recorder opens, you should try to speak as fluent as possible. And fluency is not about speaking loudly or just speaking at a very fast pace. It's all about speaking at a moderate pace. Okay, let's do the next one. Yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly, people lose their tempers most often in yellow rooms and babies cry more in them. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye. On the other hand, it speeds metabolism and enhances concentration. Think of yellow legal pads and post-it notes. Notes enhances. Surprisingly, speeds. Open. Yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly, people lose their tempers most often in yellow rooms and babies cry more in them. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye. On the other hand, it speeds metabolism and enhances concentration. Think of yellow legal pads and post it notes. Once you're done, press next immediately. Guys, now one thing I want you to understand from this read aloud is, so many of you are speaking very fast. Now, see, when it comes to PT speaking, it's already very tiring because back to back the questions are there. It's not like IELTS speaking where you think, you speak. It has to be very fast. But like you do not need to rush. Yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly, people lose their tempers most often in yellow rooms and babies cry more in them. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye. On the other hand, you do not need to rush like this. This is an incorrect way of speaking. Just try to make sure when you are doing the read aloud, you're calm, you're composed, you speak naturally. You do not need to fake any accent, like yellow is the most optimistic color. You do not need to copy anybody. Fine. Accent and pronunciation are two different things. This test is taken by people all over the world, so different people have different accents, and PT knows that. Just try to make sure you're good with the pronunciation. And in the daily practice, one more tip: if you don't know the pronunciation of hard words, difficult words, what we recommend our students is to understand the pronunciation. Go on Google, check the pronunciation of those words, but in the real exam, you can skip those words. Make sure you understand how to do it. Next one on the screen. Cheerful sunny yellow is an attention getter. While it is considered an optimistic color, people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. It is the most difficult color for the eye to take in, so it can be overpowering if overused. Yellow enhances concentration, hence it's used for legal pad. It also speeds metabolism. Cheerful sunny yellow is an attention getter. While it is considered an optimistic color, people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. It is the most difficult color for the eye to take in, so it can be overpowering if overused. Yellow enhances concentration, hence its use for legal pads. It also speeds metabolism. Now, I would like to make you understand one more point. This is how you should do: calm, composed. Do not rush. It's a very simple task. Don't make it complex. Just some of you are not understanding that how does the software work. Guys, PT is a computer-based test. It's not like you will have to be very fast or very slow. You have to speak at a moderate pace. Along with it, you will have to take care of this blue bar. Some of you are speaking before the blue bar opens. Just see. So see, once you see the first blue bar appears, you can start speaking. Some of you are just speaking before the blue bar opens. So by that time, nothing will get recorded. So just make sure your focus is on the screen, because you need to make sure once the blue bar opens, you start speaking. Also, I have seen so many students they start getting nervous when the blue bar opens. Guys, you have prepared enough before the exam. This is a performance based test. Try to make sure you're confident while speaking. Many of our students are getting 90 back to back. It's not like we are doing something different from them. Speaking is super duper easy. What we are suggesting them, we are making them practice in the classes. We are giving them lots of feedback through which they are improving. We are helping them do lots of sectional and full length mock tests, and those mock tests are assessed by the trainers, and we give them one-on-one feedback so they improve very fastly. And that's the reason many of our students like Bhairavi, Anubhav, Malkeet are getting their desired band score in very less days. Guys, there are so many students who have got their desired band scores with PTE Universe, even with 5 week classes, 1 week classes, 2 week classes, 3 week classes, 6 each, 7 each, 8 each. Many of our students have got, and so can you. Let's do the next one. So guys, see, some read alouds will be short, some read alouds will be long like this. So just try to make sure you know how to do this too. Academic authors could do a better job of helping journalists, but often they have presented their work for fellow experts without signposts for lay leaders, and just as often reports demand a certainty about cancer that scientists cannot go because it is impossible to prove a negative. Prudent. You can skip if you don't know. Researchers can never say for that something does not cause cancer. It's extremely unlikely. Academic authors could do a better job of helping journalists, but often they have presented their work for fellow experts without signposts for lay readers. And just as often, reports demand a certainty about cancer that scientists cannot give because it is impossible to prove a negative. Prudent doctors and researchers can never say for certain that something does not cause cancer. All they can say is that given the evidence, it is extremely unlikely. You do not need to rush. See, very simple task, very easy task, but the moment you try to complex it, you will not get good marks. Again, I'm repeating: speed, it should not be very fast, it should not be very slow, moderate. Rhythm, guys, just try to speak. Like, you can take pauses, just take appropriate pauses. Don't take pause everywhere. Comma, full stop, punctuations, conjunctions, and you can divide a big line into small parts like we speak naturally. Talking about pronunciation, very simple. In case if you don't know how to speak a word, try to skip it. And if you are not sure of a word, don't speak the right and the wrong one. Either you skip it or skip. If you have spoken something incorrectly, keep on speaking. Next thing is clarity. Guys, so many of you are speaking in mouth. See, academic authors could do a better job. Open your mouth while speaking. Academic authors could do a better. See the difference? Clarity has to be there. And guys, one more thing, there's so many people who are trying to change their voice. There's no need to change your voice. See, all you need is to understand how the system works. That's it. This is a very simple task. Keep it simple. Try to maintain the fluency. Fluency is all about flow. It's not about speaking loudly. It's not about shouting. You need to focus a lot on content while speaking, but in case if you've made a mistake, keep on speaking. Just don't repeat. Like academic authors could do a better job of helping journalists. Don't do that. Keep on speaking. Don't try to recorrect yourself. If you have made a mistake, go ahead, keep on speaking. Don't recorrect yourself. And guys, one more thing, you can take natural pauses. There's so many of the students who keep on asking me, Aditi, do I need to complete the read aloud in 15 seconds, 17, 18? There's nothing like that. Fine, you can just make sure you speak fluent like I have done, and you don't run out of breath. Again, in PT speaking, there will be a lot of background noise, so just don't get distracted by others. Your focus should be on your computer screen, and you have prepared enough. Again and again, I'm saying this is a very simple test, so just don't worry. So I hope the read aloud is quite clear to you. Before I end the session, what I will do is I'll just quickly summarize this session. And guys, I'll just give you a quick idea about pauses. See guys, so many people are taking lots of pauses. So many of you are taking very less pauses. The problem begins with the alphabet. No, the problem begins with the alphabet itself. No. Computer can understand the pronunciation. Just try to speak chunk of words together. The problem begins with the alphabet itself. Building a spelling system for English. Don't speak very fast. The problem begins with the alphabet itself. Don't speak very slow. The problem begins with the alphabet itself. Focus on clarity, focus on pronunciation. And that's simple. That's how you can just attempt the read aloud. So guys, I'll catch you soon in the next session. Before that, I would like to know what should be the topic of next video, like repeat sentences, read a lecture, reading module. All you need is to comment below. And if you like the video, if you find the video helpful, please press the like button, comment, and do share this session with your friends who are preparing for PT and are struggling in PT. Lots of important content is coming on our channel. And in case if you're struggling in PTE, we at PTE Universe is providing group classes, one-to-one classes, core improvement sessions, and guys, specially we are providing mock test, we're providing portal, we're providing sectional full-length mock test, and we are making sure we do have lots of master classes in which we solve real exam questions so that you can score high. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.